moves into more. Cool. So I thought I get emails from Google when they release new features in the Canary version of Chrome, and the newer ones were quite interesting. So I thought I'd quickly show you some of them. It's not going to be super long. So they added this new Flexbox inspector. So is this large enough on my screen? Do you see the code and stuff? DevTools, font size fine. Okay, so if you check now, if you inspect elements, there's a new little Flex icon that pops up. It sees its Flexbox container, which allows you to do the following. So if I just find one that's going to work back here. So we go into this one, and then on the right here, next to display Flex, you get this little icon. If you click on that, it gives you the little Flexbox toolset. You can play with all the Flexbox features right there. So I can go see what it's going to look like if I go Flex Direction column. Updates immediately. I want to change the alignment. Let's try Flex End. Let's try Flex Start. Any of those things. And if you have it in Flex Direction row, check what it looks like if you yeah, none of those are going to work on this particular one. Let me check if I do the nav. So okay, so we can check space between. It looks like that. If you do it, Flex End, center, space evenly. It's pretty cool to if Flexbox is a tricky thing to work with for you, which it is for me. I always forget how stuff works. It's just cool to see the stuff super quickly in the browser as you build it. So that was the one thing. Then check this cool. Rendering. So I can go and if I want to see what the site is going to look like for someone with visual deficiencies, you can come down to the rendering tab. You can go to the emulate vision deficiency section. I can go show me blurred vision. I can see if my stuff is still usable. It's not at all. I don't know how you get past that. Can't read anything. Protonapia, so it's some of the color blindness. I don't know what the word is. Types. So you can quickly see what it's going to look like to someone who struggles with color. You can see if they'll be able to differentiate buttons from each other. That's just hectic if you see people as red.
They stayed the same for me the whole time.
Calvin, what's your GP's number? I just want to go call. So it's pretty cool. So you can immediately see someone who's completely colorblind. You can see if the thing is still usable, if it's just black and white, which is a good thing to play with. We have similar features inside Storybook, so we can see the components there, what they look like, but it's likely to see it in the final app inside. The other one is so if you're in Chrome or in the DevTools, you can go Command Shift P, and you get this little command panel, and this gives you access to all the DevTools features just from the keyboard. So just a quick way to get to all the different things in different places. So the one I want to show you now is the Web Vitals. So this is all to do with performance of a website, how it loads, how it's experienced for users. And this is something we need to keep in mind for all our apps. And it's something I'm looking at currently for the CMS project, just to see, just link to the Next.js image component thing I showed yesterday. But this gives you a little overlay to show you exactly what the site is currently doing. So if I refresh, it'll show you how quickly the first, so these things mean Largest contentful pane means how quickly a large enough area is displayed and rendered to the user. They recommend it to be 2.5 seconds or lower. So currently we're sitting at 10.4 seconds, not good. First input delay is how long it takes before someone can click on the page, before they can interact with your site. And cumulative layout shift means how much the stuff move around as it loads. The lower the score, the better. They say it should be less than 0.1. So there we find, but if I open a page like Learn, so we do this thing where we load the content. We first load the page and then we load the content. Calvin, you'll remember this. So it loads the page and then it fetches the actual Learn articles and it populates it down here. Check, I clicked something out. Go back. So it loads and then it does another fetch and then it populates. Okay. What is going on? So it loads and then it fetches the bottom stuff. So as it does that, it shifts the elements around on the page. So the footer was up here, now it's down there. And that's not a good experience. And our score is 0.23, which is shocking. So those are all things we need to look at. Cool, so that's that. Switch that off quickly. Command Shift P, type in vitals, and just hit enter. The animations one is pretty cool. So I'm going to go back to my home page. And then I'm going to do something. Okay, so this gives you a rendered view of all the animations on the page, which is quite cool. Just ignore that, it's busy working on that. So anytime there's an interaction in terms of animation, it'll record it. So there, when I mouse over that item, it shifts to the right, the arrow appears, and it records it down here. So I can go and look at all the animations that happened. So this one, if I click on it, you probably won't see it on the screen because it's zoomed. But basically, if I click it, it shows the arrow animation on the page. And I can show exactly, it shows me exactly what is changing. So the opacity of the arrow changed, the margin changed, the box shadow changed, and the margin left. And it even shows a curve of the animation ease. It's just crazy. The second one is they said bump. So the thing moves to the right. Same thing, all those things that changes it shows me. Let's see if there's something else. So even that little arrow when I mouse over this button does the same thing. I can replay all those animations. And I think it's pretty handy if you have a ton of animations on the page and you want to manage them and fine tune, having it controllable like this and repeatable. So I don't have to go mouse over with my mouse to see the animation. I can just click here, see exactly what changed. And wait a second, you can drag this. Hold up. So I see that. So I can do see how you can modify the animation. That's crazy. So you can actually play with it here. I just wonder out what it can spit out for you. It actually changes the transitions up in the CSS. So you can copy and paste them from here.
Does it also show you? Oh, it shows you. So as you kind of drag it there, it shows you in the code.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's nuts. That's so crazy. Yeah, check there. The changes in milliseconds. That's pretty cool. Another thing, I don't know if you've noticed this, just if you in a transition in the inspector, you can click on the ease icon and it visualizes also the ease that it's using for that animation. And you can tweak it and create cubic Bezier animations right there. Copy and paste this back into your code and you're done. And you can see it repeating as you drag it, so you can fine tune without having to touch code, and then just copy and paste. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Does anyone else have Chrome tips? That's all the ones I wanted to show.
No, I don't have anything. But like my tip is like whenever I see that update thing top right corner, just like click it. Click update.
I'm the same, but I try and ignore it as long as possible.
Yeah, no, but here's Northwest that I didn't know about I knew about the one where the last one you showed where you click the cubic Bezier thing. But then the stuff there on the animations tab, that is really cool. I didn't know about crazy. That.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Something that I learned recently that I've been having to do a lot is clear the site data. So yeah, like clear the cache and all that. I think that's an application. And last year we were working with local storage. So I also like sort of discover how to like delete stuff that is stored in there. So but
yeah.
all this stuff is new. It's so cool. It is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there was nothing like this just a few years ago. It's quite a luxury.
Do you have to update Chrome to be able to see that stuff?
So the stuff I showed now, the Flexbox visualizer, the Web Vitals overlay, those two are on Canary. So it's not the release version, it's just the one before, I think. I think it goes Canary. Okay. Canary is the nightly build, or I don't know. But it's not ready for prime time, but it's pretty stable.
Just what I wanted to ask, I saw there that it seems to also give you the time that it takes for the animation to finish of the transitioning. So yeah, if you click there, it just underneath that blue highlighted, I think there's not there. Yeah, just before that, exactly. Just before that little icon.
Yeah.
The timer.
Yeah, 0 to 250.
Oh yeah. And the reason I'm interested in that is, so first of all, is that, so that never changes. It's not based on loading of assets or whatever. That's just the time that it takes for the whole thing to finish at any given point.
Yeah. Based on the CSS.
Yeah. I don't know if this is overthinking things, but the reason I was interested in that is there is an interesting JavaScript function. I think it's or event handler or listener, if you like. I think it's called on transition ended, something to that effect. And I've used it where set timeout has failed me because that built-in function allows you to wait for any type of animation that's happening on your web page before you can access DOM elements. Mm-hmm. Now, to the best of my knowledge, you don't know off of that function or event handler how long that's going to be. And the reason people would resolve to set timeout is they're trying to fill, match whatever amount it takes for all the transitioning to happen. So you go from like 100 milliseconds and you see that you're still kind of like off, and then you go to like 500 milliseconds or whatever. And that all seems random. And I'm just thinking, if you are able to know how long this takes for an element, then you can even be more specific if you're using things like set timeouts to know after how long to actually target a specific element on your page, because that stuff is constant and it tells you that this is how much the animation, or how long rather the animation goes for. I may be overthinking things, but that's just, I was sharing what was sparked in my mind as I was looking at that little timer feature there.
Yeah. Well, if you want to rely on animations being complete before you do anything, if we go all in with GreenSock and you want to do staggered complex animations and only turn on the interactivity or whatever after a certain point, it's all built into their. They've got life cycle events or callbacks to tap into all those things. So you can have a full timeline of 50 animations, and the system will take care of this sequence, and it'll let you know exactly when it's completely finished out of the box. So it's pretty
Awesome.
a lot of peace of mind if you make use of that stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Okay. Cool. So the other thing, let me stop sharing this one, is a VS, well, we have like a couple of minutes left, but the VS Code tips and tricks. I don't know if you guys are keen to chat about those a little bit. I'm sure we all have things that we enjoy using. I'll go first.
Yeah. Any tips and tricks I'd be open to.
So I'm not share the wrong thing. It's dangerous. I see my secret projects. Okay, so I've got a quick list here. There's one called, I don't know what it's called, but the key is Control R, which gives you a quick recently opened folders thing. So you don't have to go file, open, blah, 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 go browse for the folder. You just go Control R, find the thing you want to work on, press enter. Find it's super convenient. Command P is a quick file finder. If you know what the name of the file is, I'm going to find the layout. And the Elasticsearch is so powerful. We can do like search like that and check what it finds. It finds layout, learn article, but also layout, learn the AR in the learn. So I always find stuff. That's cool. Command P and Command Shift F. It just opens the search feature. But if I want to search for, I want to find the instance or wherever I'm using a certain thing, highlight the word, Command Shift F. It opens the search box, pastes in the term, and it starts searching all the files. And you can see all the results immediately. Command D. So I think you all know this one. It's a multi-select. And just undo the search. Highlight something, Command D, select all the instances of that particular search term. Then multi-cursor input. So I want to add something there and there and there and there. You can just command and click, and you can type in multiple places at the same time. Super handy. So one of the settings that I always set is save on. I think I can settings here. Which one is settings? Where's the settings now? Preferences,
Typing,
settings.
go Command P and try typing settings, or not Command P, Control R. Okay.
Control. Yeah, but let me try that. That's a good one. Settings of JSON. Or Command Shift P. That's the command panel. Yeah. There we go. If you go Command Shift P, you type settings. It's different to this one. Anyway. So files autosave. This is super handy. And I've gotten so used to this, I never save files. But basically, you can set when files should be saved, and I've set it to unfocused change. So I can be typing here, and all I do is I alt tab to the browser to go see the change, and then by the time it gets to the browser, the file is saved, and it's done the art reloading. So that's a luxury, but once you get used to it, you can't go back. Because now I don't even save files. I just change focus and assume it's gonna be fine. It's a little bit dangerous. If I want to look at, say I'm busy in a long file, I want to see the definition of a particular thing. I'm sure you guys are aware of this one. Right click on a certain word, go to definition, and it will pop up the instance where that thing is defined. And I can quickly see what's happening there and make some changes without having to scroll up. Super handy.
Sorry, Wes.
Yeah.
To interject. Yeah, I was waiting for that one myself. So like alternatively, and this is how I usually do it, is I hold command, highlight on the thing. So for instance, author details or lesson context. What is it? Lesson count. Hold command, click on it. That takes me to the actual definition of like the component. But with what you've shown, it's easier because it shows you like on a little window.
See that one never. I used that one in what was the previous popular Sublime Text. I use it there quite often, and when I was doing ActionScript, but for some reason it doesn't work in VS Code for me. So I do command click and nothing happens. Highlight,
That's
command
strange.
click. So maybe it's turned off.
I'll try option click.
What is option on a Windows keyboard? Alt.
It's alt. Yeah, try alt.
Oh, then it does the pop-up thing. Maybe it's a setting that I have this version set up and not the go-to definition thing.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
I just thought I was going to provide an alternative, but well, failed to work there on your machine, but it's okay.
But as long as it works on your machine, you'll be happy. Another thing, have you guys heard of Live Share?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What's Live Share?
Yeah, it's such an amazing thing, and we should use it more. But basically, you can hook up to people's VS Code instances to one. I can have the code on my machine, my environment, my everything. You hook your VS Code up to mine. I live share mine to you, and you can live edit the code on my machine, and we see it all happening in front of us. So it's not like a Zoom hacky vibe. You're actually working on the code, you can save, and then I can see the results on my side. And I think you can even hook up your browser to show my local server on your side. It's just incredible. That's it. That's the whole thing. What other VS Code tips do you guys have?
I don't have much, but I'd like to show two that I found useful. The one perhaps not so much a shortcut or a command per se, but just a functionality in VS Code that I found useful during dev. I have to shift my MacBook because then it blocks my screen. Let me do a quick share.
Are you guys okay with time? We've gone over the hour. Can we keep going?
Yeah, that's cool.
Are you guys okay? Or I'm happy with us carrying on maybe another day if it's want to take a rest. Okay, cool.
No, bring it.
Let me, can you guys see my VS Code? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I can sleep better at night. Let me show that command click actually works. So the thing that Rian was showing were like, what do you click? Is it option, what is it? Option click, where you have like a pop-up next to the thing. I don't know what command you were using there. But for me, what I found useful is because some of our stuff is actually typed, because we're in TypeScript, you often wonder whether, what a particular component expects or what it can take. Say you're importing it from Galaxy, you're not sure if you want to hook a click handler. Do you like just say on click on the Galaxy component, or can you like pass it a handle click property, and what else can you pass it if you want to change the color? Do you have to like come and override here, or can you just say something like button group and then you say color equals red and it changes type of thing? So what I usually do is so let's look at the stepper button style. This one is an interesting one. So this is not, so it's a copy of the Galaxy style button. And you can see that because we've added our own. This is a custom defined button. So then you go, if you wanted to know if you can pass, things like handle click or other properties, what I usually do is I hold command, highlight on the button, and then it has an underlines it. And then if I click there, it does the thing that like Rian was talking about. I'm not sure why it's not working on his side. Oh, yeah, on your side. And it will take you, it either does this, I'm not sure why it's doing this, because this is not what I wanted. Sorry, let me just try this one more time.
Maybe it has to do with the code that you're working on. Maybe JSX is different than TypeScript, or try a TS file.
No, man, this is, I just tested it as you were talking. Essentially, let me just.
So if Rian looks at the code, it works in that way. If you look at it alone, it works your way. It's just how it works.
But what it does, yeah. But like what it does is, what I like is if when it's working, you hit command click here, it takes it up to the definition, which in this case it will be that. And then you get here, you're like, okay, cool, that's not helpful because this is my custom defined version of the stepper button. So then I hit command click there, and then this is what I was looking for. There we go. So it didn't show the pop-up thing. It takes me to the actual definition of the file. And then now you can see how it's actually defined in Galaxy. And then,
you know what it is? Why it does it, file? I think if it's in a different file, it does it this way. If it's in the same file, it does the pop-up. Maybe?
Oh, yeah. No, actually.
Because the first tick you did was it went to the style components, which is in the same file, just at the top. And then this little stepper button sits in the TS file. Maybe?
Maybe. Yeah. But so in any case, for me, the functionality that I expect is where I click on the actual component and it takes me to its actual definition. Then I can go, oh, okay, this is what it takes, disabled, kind, size, thing. But then another thing that I just learned is if you come here, for instance, on the interface and you hit command click, because this is not defined anywhere else, you see this pop up. But then an interesting thing is that there's this references keyword here, where if you click on these references, it scrolls within the pop-up and not necessarily the file itself. So it scrolls within the pop-up for you to see everywhere else where that interface is actually referenced.
That's
which
crazy.
Is why it's a nice overview of the references of whatever thing you're looking at, just so you know where else it's used in the same file. And what I like about it is you can see now I'm scrolling the file, but you don't have to do that. In case the file is too long, you can literally just click there and then it will do the scrolling for you. And then like the last one, like I said, it's not so much a command per se, but like as of lately, I like doing my CMD stuff using the Visual Studio Terminal, like if I wanna CD onto Galaxy, blah, 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 and then put that up, I just like doing it in here instead of opening a separate terminal. And what I found useful is you can come here on this drop down and then you go plus, and then let me not update that. No, if you hit plus, it opens a new terminal in there within the same sort of like context, if you like. And all you can do from here is switch between all these terminals, and so you don't have to really hit command tab switching between terminals and your code. So I just like, if I want to do some Git stuff, come down here, do whatever I do, and then go back to the code. It just makes life much easier. So just those are the two things I wanted to show.
Awesome.
I didn't realize, but you can actually use a split terminal there as well. that you can bring up two terminals next to each other.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Based on what you said about that, like hovering over a component, what I find useful is often with a component, and when you don't know what props they can take in, you just hover over it and it shows all there, and that's like saved me quite a few times.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Cool. Okay, that's all of it. Should we do a bit of UI inspiration stuff and then call it a day? It's going to be tricky to do it over Zoom because frame rates and stuff. Gina, do you want to do yours first?
Okay. It's WebGL stuff. So 3D models and stuff in the browser. And WebGL is basically like a built-in API in most. Okay, it's already opened. Okay, so what I liked about the second one, which I said cool favicon icon, is actually the favicon, because you can see here it moves, and I think that's pretty cool. And I did some research into it now, and you can actually do that using Canvas. I was trying to play around with it over here, so it's pretty complicated, but I changed a couple of things. I just got this from CSS Tricks. It's not open right now. So yeah. Anyway, like what I wanted to show you guys is this stuff over here. So this is essentially WebGL. So they probably took a model and then basically made it interactive, and they use Canvas for this. So you can see over here just some of the stuff. That's the texture, or that's the leaves behind it. And then I think this, yeah, and then this is the monkey's texture. I think that's pretty cool. And the second thing I want to show you guys is Gucci's campaign almost, I think. So you say let's party, okay, the sound. And I also like that they added sound, because like the web is a very quiet place, especially after the 2000s, where, I don't know, people just added like random sounds to random buttons. So I think that's cool. And you can see over here, it moves the scene. So on mouse move, it moves the scene. And I think this is also built using WebGL. And these are probably just objects. So if I click on there, it tweens it, and there's also a cool sound effect on this camera. So if I wanted to buy this watch, I would go to the shop. And it can also take me to, so I go back, and take me to a different room, which I think is really cool. And then again, it zooms in using the tween, and I love all the details. I think it's really awesome. Like someone put effort into this, and some coder put it. Yeah, this is essentially just zeros and ones, and I think that it's awesome. And then this is just the last page for the room. And even over here, there's hover. And they also sort of put a type of gradient. So like you can see, it's a little bit pixeled. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I think its purpose was to make the objects look less 3D, because I've noticed that trend now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, this is me playing around with the moving favicon. So if you press load, you see it here. That's using the canvas and context, so the draw stuff. And yeah, That's what I want to show.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really cool.
That favicon thing, I saw once someone built, you know, that Snake game? I think it was Snake. They built that into the favicon, and you could
Wow.
play it with your, it reacted to your key presses.
Wow.
And but I can see now, I understand how they do it, because you just show that. So so I wonder if through the canvas it creates like a ICO file, and then it updates the browser's favicon every frame. I wonder if it's doing that. Must be
I
a
think so.
Jibber like that.
I can send you the CSS tricks link if you want.
Yeah,
I'll just post in the channel here where I got it from.
cool. But even this Gucci thing, they really nailed the.
Yeah.
This is all live rendering, but they
Yeah.
just used clever pre-baking of all the shadows and stuff. So it's not rendering the shadows, but it's rendering the models with the finished textures on them. So that's why it's so smooth.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and I don't think I hear my machine.
Yeah, the fan must be going
'Cause-
berserk.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's lucky to see stuff like that. It's obviously something that we don't come across day to day, because we build boring insurance apps. Jokes,
Yeah.
It's fun, but I mean, in terms of animations and stuff, it's not as exciting. That's very cool. Before the meeting runs out, I'll quickly show just one thing that I came across. So maybe if you want to see the smoothness of the animation, maybe open that link on your side. It's the Peak Social. I was going to post it in the chat here. Chat. So I found it just cool. Firstly, in the design side of things, they use very nice color palette, very clean, lots of white space, and then very subtle animation. So this can is just gently drifting around. It's not doing anything crazy, and it's a bit of a parallax vibe, which is completely overdone, but people still find ways to make it exciting. So subtle things like the background color change on the mouse, on your scroll position, little delays built in so you focus on the content. So it's a whole journey as you go down. The cans coming in, that line animating, and it's just enough to be interesting and not like feel cheesy. And I think that the key to these type of things is to make the animation snappy, so it doesn't feel like you have to sit and wait for them to happen. It just happens, and then you get the effect of it. So little mouse overs like that, it's pretty cool. And again, the background color change. This is stuff that we can implement on our landing pages and stuff, because our audience is a little bit of a younger audience. So this type of stuff could interest them. But we'll obviously have to get it past Sunlum and those type of things. But yeah, it's just a nice, fresh interaction, enjoyable, not over the top, just like a. I think we're going to run out of time now. I'm just going to show that one. The other two, I left on the spreadsheet.